Hey guys, excuse me here. It's Metalwargod. You know, it's been almost 2 months since I did my last video. I don't know, I just haven't been into the mood of doing a video, but I have acquired a bunch of stuff over those 2 months that this can be actually quite a long video, and just gotta bear with me. I'm not going to go into really a whole lot of detail on a lot of these. I'm just kind of want to show you what I have gotten over the last, well, since December of last year. So I did actually update my stereo equipment, in which I will probably do a video on that. I've gotten some new clip speakers that I added this week. I added a new equalizer. I moved in a new receiver in here so I could actually hook up the turntable, CD player, and the FM tuner to equalize all together. My new receiver that I got wasn't able to do that, but this one I can, so everything sounds awesome through this new setup I have. Also picked up a vintage Pioneer turntable, a PL20, which I'll show later. But anyway, I did get a bunch of CDs towards the end of the year, and I got a bunch of vinyl. I don't know how much vinyl here, must be 30 albums here, so this is going to be a relatively long video. I'm not going to try to go an hour or so, let's hope not anyway. But anyway, let's get into the CDs first, and let's see here if I get these out. These are some of these are from a company that I go through, and let's see here if we can get these in order first. I should have done that already, but I did not. And so anyway, all right. First up, let me get this done here. First up, these come from the Grooveyard Records label. They only do CDs, and this is more of a vintage kind of a retro fallback 70s label that is mostly, well, you got the 70s sound, you got the hard rock blues sound, you got some of the blues sound, you got a little progressive in there. But I'm going to start off first with a band called Bullfrog and their album called Clearwater. Just some basic hard rock blues, but actually a really good CD. Again, only for Grooveyard Records, so check it out. And then this one here is something that really intrigued me since they are out of South Dakota and I'm in North Dakota. A band called Closet Monster 96, and the album What's Inside Trixie's Closet. Very close to a Queensryche sound. This, as far as I know, is the only album they ever put out. They're doing a reunion show, and very, very close to that Queensryche sound, but not emulating their sound totally. But definitely pick this up if you ever see it. Closet Monsters 96. And then a female group. I don't know if I showed this, I might have, but anyway, it's been a while since I've done a video. Anyway, a band out of, I believe they're out of Greece, called Free Rock Saints, female fronted, and this is their Electric Passion. And very good CD. One of the better female fronted bands around. Yeah, throw it away, will ya? Anyway, band called Free Rock Saints. Check them out. Grooveyard Records. Came out last year. Very good CD. And then this band kind of has a fallback 70s, 60s sound, more bluesy in nature, but the cover you would very You would think it is from the late 60s, early 70s, and I'm talking about Black Strawberry Mama. And their album is called Nanda Blues. And it is more of a bluesy album. It's still very good. Again, on the Grooveyard Records label. Like I said, most of these are kind of a bluesy hard rock, retro 70s sounding stuff. And then a band, Guitar Pete, with Raw Deal. Very, very good guitar music. Very bluesy, but a very good album. And this one came out in 2011. I think this guy has quite a few CDs out on the Grooveyard Records label. And just go over to www.grooveyardrecords.com and check out their site. They got a lot to choose from. And then a couple more here from that same label, a band called The Mugs. And their self-titled release came out in 2005. And again, more bluesy hard rock orientated, but still very good. And the last one on that label is a band called The Raging Honkies. Again, more bluesy hard rock. This one is called Boner. So check it out, pick them up, support the label. Good stuff there. Then I got a few more CDs here. I think I got 9 left. This here is a band out of California. And I bought this directly through the label, or through them I should say. A band called Madman's Lullaby and Sins and Greed. Definitely this is more bordering on more metal orientated, more melodic metal, but very good stuff. Just think of God, I'm gonna forget, maybe some Pink Cream, some Chakra, maybe along that lines if you're into that kind of metal. But Madman's Lullaby. And then the third CD from these guys on the Stormspell Records label, classic power metal from the US, from the Bay Area, a band called Ancient Tower, or Ancient Empire, excuse me, and the concept album, The Tower. The lead singer is also in the band Shadow Killer, and good stuff here. You get this through CD Baby, but Ancient Empire. And then some stuff I've been picking up through the Laser's Edge. Not as frequent as I have or was, but still nonetheless I've been picking up some more CDs. Definitely throwback 70s sound here from Jessen, the Ancient Ones. And this is called The Horse and the Other Weird Tales. Female fronted. I believe these guys are out of Sweden or Finland, somewhere up there, or Norway maybe. But definitely 70s throwback sounds, late 60s, early 70s. Definitely worth picking up if you're into that kind of music. And then Gin Lady and their album Electric Earth, and you know, I listened to this and it immediately came to a band I kind of thought they were close to, but for the life of me I can't remember the band. But definitely maybe Gin Blossoms type, but I think this is their first album. And anyway, here is Gin Lady. And the last one I got from the Laser's Edge was more progressive in nature, progressive metal. And Laser's Edge tends to kind of surprise you with a lot of stuff that you don't really see and I like that about that label. Anyway, this is called the Vicious Head Society, and their album Abject Tomorrow. Definitely progressive in nature. They kind of put in a little bit of growly vocals into this, but overall it's a very good progressive metal release. If I hadn't gotten it so late, it probably would have made my top 25 list, but it did not. But still a good album from these guys. I think it's their first one, maybe their second. But check them out, the Vicious Head Society. And then some eBay stuff. Or eBay, Amazon. I picked up a single from Eloy called Insufferable. Just one track on here. Been on a real huge Eloy kick, and can't remember what album this came off of, but anyway, the single Insufferable by Eloy. And then another one from Amazon. This is this band's second release. It has some of the tracks off of their EP, Smoke is Rising, but this one is from the Fires, and I'm talking about Greta Van Fleet. And this is their first full-length, very Zeppelin-ish sounding album. You can definitely hear it in their style. I think they do a very good job of what they do with this and their sound. They're making waves all over the country with touring and stuff. So check out Greta Van Fleet. And then I got this from Rocks Records. Was a pre-order. It come with a sticker, and this came out, I believe it was last week, possibly. It's called Max. I won't forget. Max Blam Jam. Kind of has a funky edge about it. Different. Wasn't what I was expecting with this, but you know, it's different. It's not what you expect with Glenn Rogers. I believe that Glenn Rogers is on here, and but this is I don't think it's ever been released up until now. But anyway, this is Max Blam Jam Blow Up Man. Check it out. It's kind of unique. And then this is only on CD. They don't have any vinyl. Band called, here, let me take it out of the deal here. Band called Reverence. And their latest EP called Foreverance by Reverence. Of course, it's autographed by the band. They lost their lead guitar player last year, and they do a track 5 on here. The Last Flight is more of a dedication to the band, but very good, very good heavy metal, more traditional style, but definitely check this out if you're into Reverence. And then I have one more CD, and I gotta thank Jay from Vinyl in the Van. He had this playing on one of his videos, and I picked this up. It's called Blue Phantom and Distortions. And I like what I heard. It's very unique. It's all over the place, but it's very good. Let's see here. But anyway, I want to thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. Recommendation. There's actually a couple others I'm going to actually dedicate to you too. And anyway, here is Blue Phantom with the Distortions. Yeah. So yeah, I was sick for a while. I had the flu for about a week and a half. It really got me. Weather's been up and down. Finally nice, but anyway. I also hooked up my 25 disc CD changer, and what you're hearing in the background is a band called Lechery, and the album I believe is called Pedal to the Metal. So anyway, so now we're going to get into the vinyl. And if I had shown these, I apologize. I kind of went back through my videos, and I don't think I had actually showed you these. Some of these I have not opened yet. I just haven't had the time. With work, we're trying to get work done, and we're just about done with the place, and it's being sick and not enough time. But anyway, first up is Apathy with Sinister. Of course, this is a album of the Apathy brothers, Carmen and Vinny, and they got together and they put this album out. Very good album, particularly Monsters and Heroes on here. But anyway, here is Apathy with Sinister. Like I say, I'm not going to go in big detail over these, but anyway, up next is Creator with Live Creation. This is a 3-album set, and this came out last year on the SPV Steamhammer label. So, new Creator, live, check it out. And this is also new. The one previous to this did not come out on vinyl. I thought it may have. It's I can't remember the name of it. My mind is, you know, the older you get, your mind kind of tends to go a little bit. But anyway, I picked up the Primal Fear, The Best Fear, 3-album set. It actually has 4 new tracks on here, and they are currently in the studios working on a new album that's, I believe they said it's supposed to be out about fall of 2018. So anyway, here's Primal Fear, The Best of Fear. And then this was actually when Record Store Day was back, what was on Black Friday last year. What was it, November 24th, 25th, whatever it was. I specifically went up to Record Store Day to pick up 2 albums. I did get one of them, but I missed out on this Creator, which is Hail to the Hordes. But I knew somebody from the VC online on Facebook, and he had this, so I picked it up from him for the same price as it was for Record Store Day. So I was happy to pick up this Creator picture disc. And there were only 1,000 available, so now they're probably up in price. This is from another label I kind of came across, must have been a couple months ago. I actually went through their site, but I initially didn't pick anything up, and then I went back, and I was what really intrigued me was going through their catalog, which I did finally buy some, and I've been buying more and more lately. But they're kind of a label that caters to a lot of demo stuff, bands, a lot of garage rock, pop psych, stuff like that, that you don't normally see. And this is one that really surprised me, and I was happy to pick this up. I was watching a video a couple days ago of, I can't remember the VC member was, but it was an interview. That's what it was. It was an interview on one of our DJs had, and the guy I had mentioned what was kind of your rare finds or surprise finds that you had found over the years. And he had mentioned that he was at a flea market, and he went through a bunch of albums, and he got towards the end and he picked this one up that was kind of didn't have a cover, and looked at it. Stuff fell out of it, and it kind of mentioned Kim Fowley and it was only a one-sided recording, and something else fell out of it in reference to Runaway stuff. And he did some research. It was actually a rare demo of the Runaways that was done prior to them really starting to take off. Anyway, getting back to the Bomp Records, I came across this, and this is on a 10-inch. It is a Runaways 10-inch, the Runaways Born to Be Bad. And this is actually historical document, first demos from August of 1975, produced by Tim Fowley. And but anyway, it has it's two-sided 10-inch. So imagine the songs are probably maybe 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes in length for each of them. But anyway, I picked this up. Very hard to find Runaway stuff, and these are actually limited. And I did pick up 2 of them, and I promised another one to a friend of mine. So anyway, I can get more if anybody's interested. But anyway, here's the Runaways 10-inch. And then also another band that kind of intrigued me. I didn't really go through, the first time I went through their catalog, I didn't see this. The second time I went through it, I seen this. Of course, I have a little info of what the band is about. And this band came out in, I believe it was 1984. And this is more of a garage rock, pop rock album from a band called the Pandoras, and their album called It's About Time, all female band, and definitely throwback to the psychedelic era. I just got this yesterday, in fact, so I haven't had a chance to hear this, but kind of intriguing. And so this is the Pandoras, and it is on Vox Records. So intriguing, very intriguing. I like to find stuff like this. And also, in addition, that came with that one was this one. And this is on the LSD label, Lysergic Sound Distributors. And this is a band that came out in around about 1968, 69 is when they were around, and the band is called Devil's Kitchen, and it is limited to 1,000 copies. This actually was reissued in 2011 on the LSD label, and but definitely intrigued by this. I haven't really had a chance to hear this, but we'll take a look at the label here, the inners of this. Anyway, you're listening to the background now of some Lana Lane. So anyway, yeah, some Devil's Kitchen. I find myself actually buying more of the older vintage stuff that you really can't find originally on vinyl, and if you do, it's a very high price, but I'm glad for the reissues. So here is Devil's Kitchen. Up next, also on the Bomp Distributors, is a band called Stud, and self-titled release. Of course, this is on the Outsider label. Here's what it says: it's private hard rock ultra rarity from Texas, exhumed for the first time. Only 200 copies, originally released in '75. Stud has become a holy grail for collectors. Powerful progressive hard rock with killer lead guitar by 17-year-old Tim Williams, brutal Rickenbacker bass attacks by Paul Deacon, and solid as a rock drumming by George Lasher. They are a three-piece progressive hard rock band that plays so well together. allow them to maneuver through long passages, and so definitely guitar-driven Texas hard rock from a band called Stud. Of course, this was made in Germany. Like I say, they're only limited to what, like I say, 200 copies. So yeah, chances are you have to really search for these. There still might be some over on the Bomb Records, so check it out. Also another one, I think it's probably one of my last ones on the Bomb Records. And this one we're gonna open up because I don't like how it's sealed right now. But this is a band called The Brood, and the album is called In Spite of It All. And this is on the Skyclad record label, so we're gonna take it off. The shrink is kind of getting shrinkier, so we'll do this now. I'll get my trusty knife out here, and we'll go from there and see what we got. Usually if you have a sharper knife it goes really quick, but fortunately this blade ain't very sharp. I don't like opening them unless the knife is sharp, but that's all I have currently. So anyway, so here is The Brood. This is actually 3/4 female fronted. Actually, it's all female fronted, excuse me. This, what it says, my face felt hot, stung like I'd been slapped. But anyway, let's see what the vinyl looks like. Very clean. Got one little minor, you can see the inner circle. So I'm looking forward to listening to this. So here's The Brood, all female. Originally, I'm not sure when this actually came out in 1988, but anyway, The Brood. Okay, here's a new release that came out last week, and a very good album. Bill Peters had talked about this, and I knew this was going to be good. I have a couple other CDs from this band, but I didn't have anything on vinyl. I pre-ordered this through Napalm Records, and I'm talking about Audrey Horne and Blackout. Has a very Thin Lizzy-esque style going on here, but they don't totally rely on the Thin Lizzy music. They do it their own way. These guys have been around for probably 10 years or so. But anyway, here's Audrey Horne and Blackout. This also has bonus tracks on the vinyl, so it is a gatefold. Go check it out. When I hooked up this equalizer, which is a Yamaha GE30, it is a let's see, what is it? 10 band each side channel. It's 20 band equalizer, 10 on each side, left and right, and it really makes a difference in my sound. It really enhances the highs and the lows and the basses and the vocals in this. So I was happy to pick this up. Up next, these are from a VC member. He was selling a bunch of vinyl, and this was kind of towards the end of the vinyl that was left, so I picked them up anyway. I picked up 3 of them, and first up, a band called Dead Ringer, and the album Electrocution of My Heart. And so looking forward to listening to this. Like I say, I got 3 from them. There were others I wanted, but they were gone. But I'm gonna have to pick these up because I never had any Dead Ringer in my collection. And then band out of France, also from the same guy who was selling the vinyl. A band called Trust. And this is Paris by Night live recording. It is France's premier hard rock band, recorded live at Europe's Monster of Rock. So that gives you an indication it's a bit older, but still looking forward to this. And the last one I got from him was Massey and Fire in the Rain. And in addition, he ships these in these original master sleeves, which is very nice. A lot of the artists or albums I get are usually in the original, so it was nice to get that in, so I don't have to change those out. So here's Massey. Up next, let's see here. This I had on CD, and I found it, God, it must have been 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it's finally been released on vinyl it comes from Australia, but I didn't get it in Australia. There was a seller on eBay that I found a relatively, not an overpriced copy, still sealed, or it is sealed I should say. It's from Blank Recordings. This was put out in 2017, and talking about the Stock Forest group, and one of the early recordings of the band that later became known as Blue Oyster Cult. Of course, they were known as the Soft White Underbelly and Stock Forest group. Of course, their last studio album actually came from a title on this album from '67, and let's see here. It was called The Curse of the Hidden Mirrors. So anyway, here it's Stock Forest group. These actually have, I think there's four of the members that later formed or became Blue Oyster Cult with another new member. One of the original members of this band never went on with Blue Oyster Cult. But anyway, I had to get this Stock Forest group. Up next, a band that kind of came out of nowhere for me. Heard it through Little Steven's Underground Garage. I'm not sure if I told you the story of this, but I was listening to Little Steven's Underground Garage. Of course, if you're not familiar with that, and Little Steven, of course, plays with or has played with Bruce Springsteen, and he's in his own right a very good guitarist. But he does syndication shows of the Underground Garage. Anyway, this is on Sirius XM Radio, channel 21. And there was a song on there that really grabbed me, but I didn't know the song title or the name of the group at the time, and I was hoping they'd play it again. It came on again, and this time I caught the title of the song. And then they finally said the group, and this band is out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and half female, half male, and the band is called Soraya, and their album is called Dead Reckoning, and the song I heard was called Wow. Now, this band is very garage rock orientated. You can definitely hear it. Definitely has some Pretenders-esque and Blondie-esque vocals going on in this, but definitely maybe a little punkish vibe going on in this as well. But I think these guys are more of a garage rock band, and I believe this is their first full length. They do have some other stuff out too as well, but I picked this up, and I really like this. This actually made my year-end top 30 list, and which I will be doing, but I just haven't had time. So anyway, get the Soraya, and then I picked up their EP, which is called Less Than Zero, and this has 5 tracks. And I'm not sure, this was actually put out by the band themselves, Soraya Records. And very, like, this is on kind of a red splatter. Again, like I say, more garage rock, a little punkish vibe going on in them, and I really like this group. In fact, I'm going to be interviewing one of the members on my radio show here coming up at the end of January, so if you're interested, check it out. And then this finally was released. It was only a digital release on this, and then they finally put out their 4-song album, and I'm talking about Greta Van Fleet, and the EP Black Smoke Rising. Like I say, very Zeppelin-ish sound musically and vocally. Very good album. These guys are out of Michigan, very young band, but I think there's 3 brothers in the band. But anyway, Greta Van Fleet. And then I finally picked up this. I did not have this on, I don't even think it was reissued on vinyl if I remember right, but it finally is now. And I picked up Judas Priest Painkiller. Of course, March 9th is the drop date of their new album, Firepower, which I did pre-order, but I had to get this on vinyl. Finally got it. And there's a couple albums I'm still looking for, but I'm not going to pay the price. But anyways, just happy to pick this up. And again, another recommendation from Jay and Vinyl in the Band. The band is out of France. The band is called Soggy. Punkish hard rock. And very good stuff. I liked what he had said about the band. But again, this was actually released 2016 on the Outer Battery Records. A band called Soggy. And of course, the inner from Outer Battery Records on gray vinyl. Very good album if you're into kind of a punkish hard rock. This is definitely the album you definitely want to check out. Outer Battery, another label I kind of came across accidentally doing a search for the band, and that's what I came up with. A band called Soggy. In addition, let's see here. So when I was over there ordering that, this one actually intrigued me. They don't have a lot on their label, but this one kind of intrigued me as well. And this band is called Peter. Definitely has that 70s retro vibe flashback going on here. Of course, you got Texas Igloo, Stairway to Attic, you got Bamboo, Buffalo Stampede, so it kind of tells you what kind of the songs are like. This came out in 2017 on Outer Battery Records, of course. Band called Peter. And then these are albums that I needed to add to my ever-growing collection, and I'm talking about the Groundhogs, early Groundhogs, and this is Hogwash, more bluesy hard rock. I had sent Scott Waters a couple of albums, and he really dug what I had sent him. He fell in love with the guys, this group. And these guys are definitely Very good. Tony McPhee on guitars. And if you're into that British blues hard rock, later on, a couple of their later albums in about 74, 75, 76 were more hard rock orientated. With they had the blues influence still in their style, but more hard rock in nature. I'm talking about Crosscut Saw and Black Diamond, but these are some of the earlier stuff, and this is Hogwash. And this one actually came out, I'm not sure, this one came out I think 1971 if I'm not mistaken. And then I picked up the Mighty Groundhogs, and this is Who Will Save the World, kind of a cartoonish front, inside, back, and definitely a good album. Again, I like mostly all Groundhog stuff, and it's hard to come by. I remember when I first picked up some Groundhogs was back in 74, or when I first heard it, and then I did pick up the album because it was released in the US, and that was Crosscut Saw. And but other than that, you really couldn't find much Groundhogs in the States. But I picked up a lot of these on Discogs, and this is relatively a nice copy. What's ironic though is when I went and I bought this, I went to a Black Friday in Fargo, and one of the vinyl shops that I stopped at had this, and I almost pulled the trigger and bought it, but the cover wasn't in very good shape, so I passed and I picked this up, and I'm glad I did. Groundhogs. And then also picked up these have been reissued on Sunday's Records. This one was re-released in 1976, and I'm talking about the Groundhogs Scratching the Surface. And originally released in 1968. And right here is Tony McPhee. Great guitar player. Never gets the recognition like a lot of the other bluesy guitarists. Clapton, Jeff Beck. There are others there, of course, but very good. They see Groundhogs are still out there doing stuff, but not as much as they used to. But still, you might pick this up, reissue. Decent price too. And then I picked up this. I bought on. This was also a Discog buy. The cover is in decent shape. I was really surprised. It's kind of like it's not a glossy cover. It's not a smooth cover. It's kind of a lined cover. I don't know. Maybe not a matte finish, but anyway, picked up Groundhog Solid, which came out. Not gonna see. I don't see a year on this, but I assume this is about 71. I still gotta fix the cover on this, but it's on the WWA Records. 1973. This came out. Very. It's almost a mint copy. So I was happy to pick this up. And so the Groundhogs, like I say, you just gotta get into them, and definitely they will grab you. But anyway, here's Groundhogs was solid. And then last one I got also from Discogs, and this is probably their first album. In fact, I know it is their first album. This was, I believe, originally released in 1967, and I'm talking about Groundhog's Blues Obituary. Actually, this was recorded in '69, excuse me, but good stuff here. This definitely has a very Hendrix vibe going on here, and this is when they were a trio. And, you know, they later formed into a four-piece, but This is some great stuff, great early Groundhogs. And again, re-released. Originals are going to be hard to come by, but I'm just happy to pick this up. See, I got to see where I'm at on my time here. Anyway, and then I don't think a lot of people knew that this band released a new album. I pre-ordered this, waited and waited and waited, and finally it did show up. And again, it's one of these I haven't really had time to hear yet, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. This is on the Acetate Records. I'm talking about Junkyard and their album High Water. Definitely a good album. I've heard the digital, but I'm sure this does more justice to it than the digital. And came out 2017. Very, of course, you know, Junkyard, more hard rock blues orientated band, but very happy to pick this up. Junkyard, High Water. And then this was a story about this album was this band, the label they were on would not release any of their songs because they wanted to re-record them. Well, they couldn't re-record them because the label never gave them permission. So that particular album. So what they did is they went in and recorded it and kind of renamed it, sort of, and put it out on a double LP. And these guys keep their sound the same all the time. They don't change. It's just every album's solid, very killer heavy power metal, and I'm talking about Iron Savior and their redone album, Reforged, Riding on Fire. Now, this is only limited to 250 copies. This is on blue vinyl. And again, they had to rename this because they couldn't do it originally because of the label. They are since not with that label anymore. They are on SPV, AM/FM, or AFM Records, which is, I think, a good label for these guys. So anyway, here are some Iron Savior with Reforged, Riding on Fire. And then this was a pledge, and I pledge everything and anything to this band. They are in my top 3 of all-time favorite bands. Ever since I've been listening to music, I try to get everything I can. And of course, they are about ready to release a new album called Thunderbolt. And of course, they're going to be on tour this year with Judas Priest and Black Star Riders, which is a awesome lineup for a concert. Of course, they're going to play bigger cities, so both Saxon and Black Star Riders are going to get more exposure. Saxon should have been as big as Judas Priest, but they just never clicked over here in the States. They're huge in Europe. They're like gods over there. And I'm talking about Saxon, of course. And this is Saxon, Decade of the Eagle from 79 to 88. This is a 4-album set. And it's an anthology from their early days up until almost the 90s. So definitely happy to pick this up. This is on the BMG label, and it is a Decade of the Eagle, a deluxe 4-time 180 gram LP anthology featuring 34 of the band's best singles, album tracks, and live anthems from 79 to 88. Includes liner notes by Biff Byford. So awesome band. Check them out. Pretty spendy though. And then this was also a pre-order. And this is a live album. And also another Saxon. And And this is 10 Years of Denim and Leather, live 1990. Of course, has the hype sticker here. And this came out on Demon Records, just like some of their reissues of vinyl that was not, or some of their albums out from the 90s up until about 2005 that were not on vinyl and re-released through Demon Records, which I do have. And this one, like I say, live recordings. So I'm happy to pick this up. And then these next couple ones are, let's see here, if I can find it. Yes, these come from Boone Records, I believe. No, this one's from Rox Records. And of course, this layout and design was by our one and only Scott Waters on the VCLT. And I'm talking about Fear Not. And the cover's been redone by, of course, like I said, Scott Waters. And I've heard this online a little bit, but I haven't heard the vinyl. Again, gotta find the time all the time, but I don't. Usually weekends I try to. So anyway, here's a Rox release with Fear Not. And then this one here, through Retroactive Records. Again, the layout and design by Scott Waters, and I'm talking about Sacrament and Haunts of Violence. I dig how their name has been done here. I just dig the calligraphy of this, and good stuff here anyway. So I'm happy to pick this one up. And then I don't think I did show this. And this band also made it in my top 30. I think they came in at number 16. No. I think they came in at number 19. And I'm talking about Savage Master. This is more of an EP of sorts. And Creature of the Flames. But this put out by High Roller Records and Skull Records. But Stacy Savage on vocals. They just do it very well. And I like this band. I have mostly everything they have put out on vinyl, 7-inch and so forth. But good stuff here. And I don't think I showed this. I paid up for this. I figured if I didn't buy it on vinyl, I probably would be paying a lot more later down the road, or maybe cheaper, but I think it'd be more up in price. So I picked up Black Sabbath The End, and live show from February of 2017. Of course, this is a 3-album set, so I'm happy to pick this up. I don't have all the Black Sabbaths, but I'm glad I picked this one up because I know it's going to be hard to come by in years down the road. And then I had showed a single earlier of this band, and this is a band that was kind of late to my ears. Again, they come out of Germany around 1970. Very, very progressive band. I think they're just a phenomenal progressive rock band. And why they never made it big in this country, I have no clue. Maybe because their albums were very hard to come by in the States, and they were only released in Europe. But anyway, I'm talking about German prog rock band Eloy, and this album is called Power and the Passion, and this is an original German copy from 1975. And I've been on an Eloy kick for about 4 or 5 months now, and I'm trying to get as much as I can on vinyl or CD, whichever I find. Also, I'm going to be doing an Eloy Fest on my 70s flashback show, I believe on the 31st of January. So stick around, that is on Sonic Asylum Radio. So anyway, here's some Eloy. And then I picked up also Eloy, Time to Turn. This is a gatefold original. And you gotta love their covers. Very unique covers. Some of them are plain, some of them are different. But like I say, this one actually came out in, let's see here, what year was this? I don't see a year on here. I'm gonna guess it's probably about 77. But anyway, Eloy. And the last one. This is actually what kind of turned me onto the band. Laser's Edge, which basically caters to the progressive rock, progressive metal, progressive power metal, some thrash, some hard rock, some 70s stuff. Anyway, this was kind of what really got me into Eloy, was this album which came out last year. And this is an Eloy, their latest album, Division, The Sword and the Pyre. Double album set. Very good album. Very progressive. But I picked this up for a decent price. I think it was like 25 bucks. So I was happy to pick this up. Good stuff from Eloy. Now we're getting down to the end here. This is first time this has ever been reissued on vinyl. I had the CD. I heard the track, a couple tracks on the radio. I liked what I heard, and I knew the main person in the band that formed the band was Bob Dylan's son, which was Jacob Dylan, who formed the band The Wallflowers. And this, of course, is Bringing Down the Horse. Good album. Very. It has a lot of organ in it. Good guitar, good vocals, and you know, I don't know what happened to these guys. They should have been bigger. This was a good album for these guys. A good debut album, and I've always liked the Wallflowers. And I had posted this album online, and somebody said, "Well, I didn't think you really got into the Wallflowers." Well, I did, and this was the album that really grabbed me, and I was finally happy to see that it was reissued on vinyl. So very good, 180 gram vinyl from Jacob Dylan, and good stuff. And the last one, I got this a couple weeks ago. I ordered it, actually when I first heard it, I liked it, and I didn't pull the trigger on it. And the more I heard of it, and more of the songs I heard, I said, I'm gonna pick this up on vinyl, and I did. And it's Ronnie Montrose, 10 by 10. Of course, we lost Ronnie. What was it, last year or a couple years ago? And of course, this has featuring Ricky Phillips and Eric Singer, and it has guest vocalists. Let's see here. I'll take this out and see some of the vocalists. Of course, we have Friends and Allies. Guesting with Ronnie are Joe Bonamassa, Mark Bonilla, Bill Collin, Rick Derringer, Mark Farner, Tom Gimbel, Lawrence Gowan, Sammy Hagar, Debbie Holiday, Glenn Hughes, Steve Lukather, Eric Barton, Dave Menichetti, Davey Pattison, Greg Raleigh, Ed Roth, Jeff Scott Soto, Tommy Shaw, Todd Sucherman, Bruce Turgeon, Brad Whitford, Edgar Winter, and Jimmy Zavala. So a lot of guest artists on this. It's a very good album. If you have not heard this, definitely pick it up. Of course, I like all Montrose stuff, Ronnie Montrose. So good stuff. Get this back in here. So anyway, like I say, it's been almost 2 months since I did an update, and this is a relatively long one. Anyway, last one, Ronnie Montrose, 10 by 10. So there you have it. I looks kind of getting a little bit beardy. But anyway, guys, I appreciate it. If you got any comments below or want to say anything, let me know, and I'll see you next time on Wargod's Video Mail Update. Take care, everybody.